Happy Mother's Day to you. It really is a fantastic day, isn't it?
It really is.
A day to celebrate all those amazing women in our lives. Mothers, sure, but also wives, sisters, aunts, grandmothers. Everyone who brings that, nurturing spirit.
Absolutely. That spirit of care.
You might have noticed, maybe no fresh flowers today. We've got these rather smart flower pins instead.
They are quite dapper.
They've got a certain something. And look, we can joke about inflation, maybe just sort of kidding, but we really wanted everyone to feel appreciated.
Of course.
So we're doing lunch for everyone after this. Food's always good, right? A nice way to connect.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And, speaking of appreciation and, well, all the work women do, it makes me think about how we sometimes talk about things at home. You know that phrase like, oh, I help my wife with the housework.
Yeah, I know the one.
It always gives me pause. It's like the baseline assumption is it's her work and anything else is just helping.
Right, like it's not a shared space.
Right, exactly. It's our space, our life. It's not helping, it's just living together, sharing the load.
That is so true. And when everyone just naturally pitches in, when those everyday acts of care are just part of the deal, well, that's where strong relationships really come from, isn't it?
Yeah. It's that team effort idea.
Recognizing it's a shared thing, building a home.
And actually, this whole idea of nurturing, of shared care, it kind of connects to how we think about God sometimes.
Okay, how so?
Well, we often default to this mainly male image, right? And obviously, Jesus taught us our Father.
Sure.
But if you dig into Scripture a bit more, you find these incredibly tender, almost maternal images of God, too.
Ah, right. Like in Isaiah.
Exactly. Isaiah 66:13. As a mother comforts her child, so will I comfort you. It's beautiful.
It really is.
Or think about Matthew 23, where Jesus compares himself to a mother hen wanting to gather her chicks under her wings.
Yeah, that protective instinct.
It suggests this divine love that's both strong and gentle, like that motherly embrace. It makes you wonder, how might seeing God through that lens change things for us?
That's a really powerful question. It shifts things, doesn't it? Maybe less of a distant judge, more of a comforting presence.
It broadens the picture.
Definitely broadens our understanding. And thinking about that kind of nurturing love, love in action, it leads us perfectly into our deep dive today.
Okay.
The story of Tabitha in Acts chapter 9.
Ah, Tabitha, yes.
And this isn't just some, side story. It happens right when the early church is really starting to expand, reaching new people. It's a key moment.
Absolutely pivotal. So Tabitha, her Aramaic name means gazelle.
Gazelle, okay.
Yeah, and just like a gazelle is, graceful, Tabitha was known for her gracefulness, her constant kindness.
Ah, that fits.
And interestingly, her Greek name was Dorcas, which also means gazelle.
Same meaning.
Yeah. Though you have to wonder if Dorcas was the, let's say, coolest name on the playground back then. Maybe sounds a bit like Dorcas.
Maybe a little.
But, it wasn't the name that defined her. It was her actions, what she did. That's what everyone remembered.
Right. And Acts 9, verse 36 tells us exactly why she was so loved, doesn't it?
It does.
She was devoted to good works and acts of charity. And the original language, the Greek, it really emphasizes this wasn't just occasional. Yeah. It was constant, overflowing.
Like ripples in a pond, you mean?
Exactly. That's a great image, just spreading out, touching everyone.
And she channeled this kindness very practically. She made clothes.
Clothes for the widows, right? In Joppa.
That's right, Joppa, which is modern-day Jaffa. It was a busy port city, lots of trade, lots of different people.
Which probably meant instability, too.
Definitely. Economic ups and downs, displacement from conflicts. It could leave people, especially women who lost their husbands, in really tough spots. Very vulnerable.
You can just picture it, can't you? These women, probably facing real poverty, not many options for support in that society. And Tabitha didn't just, feel sorry for them. She did something. She started this, almost like a small business, a community effort.
Yeah, she created this grassroots thing, sewing clothes, maybe selling some too. It wasn't just about handing out garments.
No, it was about restoring dignity, wasn't it? Giving them hope, maybe even skills.
Exactly. Practical help, empowerment. It shows how faith can work in really tangible ways, creating real economic help for people who need it. That's a huge takeaway.
A really powerful expression of faith.
Precisely. And that's why the Bible calls her a disciple, not just a nice lady who did charity.
Right. Disciple is specific.
It means her whole life was about living out the gospel, love made visible, practical.
And then the story takes a turn. She gets sick.
Yeah, tragically, she falls ill and dies.
Oh, man. The grief in that community, it must have been immense.
You can imagine, she wasn't just helpful. She was like a pillar, a leader, a support. Losing her would have been devastating.
So they were desperate, and they heard Peter was nearby.
Mm-hmm.
He'd recently been involved in healing Aeneas, not far away. Peter, the one who denied Jesus, but was now this bold leader.
So they sent for him immediately, clinging to that hope, maybe.
Any hope they could find, I imagine. Just, please come, maybe you can do something.
And Peter comes, and the miracle happens. Tabitha is brought back to life.
Yes, through God's power, she is. But what's really interesting is how Luke tells the story in Acts. The focus isn't just on the wow factor of the miracle.
Okay. What's the focus then?
It shifts pretty quickly back to her work, her ministry. The miracle wasn't just for show. It was about restoring her, restoring that vital source of hope and support for the community.
So the miracle served the ongoing ministry. That makes sense.
It renewed her purpose and theirs.
That's such an important angle. And, thinking about Joppa, there's a bit of irony there, isn't there?
How so?
Joppa's the city linked with Jonah.
Oh, right. Jonah, who ran away from God's call.
Exactly. The prophet who got on a boat going the other way.
Yeah.
So in the same place where Jonah basically said nope to God,
Yeah.
Tabitha was saying yes with her whole life.
Right. Jonah's the big oops.
And Tabitha's the big wow. That's a great contrast.
It really highlights something, doesn't it?
It really does. It reminds me of that line in Isaiah chapter 60, the least of you will become 1,000. Think about Tabitha's acts of service. Maybe they seem small day to day, but look at the impact. It makes you think there are really two ways to go through life, aren't there? You can be mostly a taker, or you can try to be a giver.
A giver, like Tabitha.
Right. Now, impacting thousands, like Isaiah says,
Yeah.
that might feel huge, overwhelming.
Yeah, a bit much.
But what about just a few? What if you just intentionally used your talents, your time, your resources, whatever gifts God's giving you, to make a difference for even, say, 3 or 4 people?
The ripple effect again.
Exactly. Because really, everything we have is a gift, meant to be shared somehow.
And the result of Tabitha living that out, Acts 9.42, is clear.
What does it say?
Many believed in the Lord because of her.
Wow. See, that's the power of faith in action. It's not just words or arguments.
No, it's seeing a life lived with such love that it points people to something bigger. Her life was the sermon.
A sermon on building a bit of heaven right here on earth.
Yeah. And she wasn't just, giving handouts. She was empowering people, creating sustainable support. That's incredibly forward-thinking.
It really is. And then there's Peter's next move. We shouldn't just skip over that.
What's that? Staying in Joppa.
Yeah, staying at the home of Simon the Tanner.
Simon the Tanner. Okay, why is that significant?
Well, tanning involved dealing with dead animals, animal hides. It was considered ritually unclean work. Tanners were often social outcasts.
Ah, okay. So Peter, the apostle, stays with an outcast.
Exactly. Think about Peter's own background, his previous hang-ups about clean and unclean. This decision to stay with Simon, it would have been pretty shocking, right?
Yeah, definitely raised eyebrows.
It shows how much Peter himself was changing, how the message of Jesus breaks down those barriers we put up between people. It challenges us, too.
Yeah.
Who might we be keeping at arm's length?
That's a really important point. So bringing it back to Mother's Day, Tabitha is just this incredible example of discipleship.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting, Scripture never says if she had her own biological children.
No, it doesn't mention it.
But through her actions, her constant care, her service, she absolutely mothered her whole community, didn't she?
She really did. She nurtured them. It's a great reminder that motherhood isn't just biology. It's a spirit, a way of caring.
A spirit anyone can have. Men, women, parents or not.
Exactly. So the question for all of us listening today is, how can we cultivate more of that nurturing spirit? How can we be more like Tabitha? Actively looking for those chances to create ripples of grace, ripples of kindness.
Instead of maybe pulling a Jonah and trying to avoid the call.
Right. Avoiding those opportunities to serve or connect.
It really boils down to that choice, day by day. Choosing the Tabitha way over the Jonah way in our interactions.
And remembering God's kingdom isn't just some future thing.
No, it's built now, right here.
Through these small acts, done with great love.
That's it. Small acts, great love.
So let's try and take that with us. Let's embrace that giving, nurturing spirit we see in Tabitha.
Yeah. Look for those opportunities this week, big or small.
Just extend kindness, extend care where we can.
That's a beautiful challenge. Go out and ripple with love.
Ripple with love. I like that.
And hey, don't forget, lunch is happening right after this. A chance to connect, share some fellowship.
A bit of Tabitha spirit right there.
Exactly. Community and care. See you there.